Hey everybody, so for my video blog I'm just going to be reading my answers directly off of um, Word document that I created because I cannot remember to say everything that I need to say. So, what skills described in Chapter 7 and identified on the Leadership Schools questionnaire would you use to secure needed resources such as staff? So the setting that I work in uses an interdisciplinary team model to treat our patients. They see MDs and nurse practitioners, psychiatrists, therapists, and registered dietitians who all work together to create goals of challenging and ultimately overcoming their eating disorder. In this respect, it is a vertical structure that includes a matrix because we all have specialized skills that we use interacting with the patients. Sorry, this is Elliot. Nurses and TAs have the most day-to-day interactions with patients, so we can be advocates for them in the in the case of medicine adjustments. In the case of medicine adjustments, for example, we take our suggestions up the chain, and it will be up to either the psychiatrist or the MD or NP who ultimately make the change based on our observations. And I'm sorry, I lost my place, and the patient's willingness to comply with treatment. Through the leadership questionnaire, I discovered that I scored in the high ranges for both administrative and interpersonal skill sets. I am very effective with filling out paperwork and forms and usually begin them right away. I really enjoy when I get to be the charge nurse for the unit because I believe I'm very good at managing people and my resources. Even back to my restaurant days, I felt like a conductor of an orchestra. So even when we're crazy hectic, I still have an eye on everything and take meticulous notes for doctor's orders and report. I am also able to sense the emotional undercurrents of my group because we work together so often and so well. The skills I would use to secure resources, such as staff, would begin with those that I already have. From the excellence approach of Peters and Waterman, I would be an involved manager. I will be visible to my staff and more than willing to get involved when I can see that they need help, but I wouldn't micromanage. When the acuity of the census changes or we gain more admissions, I would follow the proper channels to hiring more personnel because I understand nurse-patient ratios are extremely important and a great indicator of nurse satisfaction, and ultimately, if your staff doesn't feel valued, they will move on to the next place that appreciates their talents and compassion. So, how would you use the published literature in the process? I read an article that discussed the differences between multidisciplinary, transdisciplinary, and interdisciplinary approaches for pain management in inpatient healthcare settings. If I was to become a manager in my facility, I would reinforce the type of approach that we are currently using, which is transdisciplinary. Goal setting is a collaborative effort of everyone on our team, and each professional conducts their own discipline-specific assessments on the patients. Granted, there are limitations, like a great need for communication and flexibility, but given that we work in mental health, this was always going to be a limitation. We work with human beings, and they are famous for needing plans of care adjusted based on need. And finally, identify the levels and departments that you would need to work with in order to be effective in your role. So I can foresee needing to be in communication with just about all departments to be an effective manager in my facility. We have a wonderful medical director that pops in from time to time to check on how things are going on the unit, and she takes the time to listen to our suggestions and our feedback. The operations team is extremely important when we need or have technical difficulties, or we need to coordinate to create an emergency evacuation plan that keeps everyone together and safe. Elopement is a big deal when we have like fire drills or anything of that nature. What else? The financial department for budgets and human resources for our hiring needs. I would have to be in communication with literally just about everyone because everything that we do is a collaborative effort. That's why when Stacey McIntyre envisioned this hospital, she named it the Veritas Collaborative. Because of what I know and what works best for this facility, I do have a preference for retaining a vertical model, and once we get the equipment that would support primary care nursing, I'd be more than willing to switch over to that. But until then, functional team nursing is how we get through our day to day and helping each other out. And that's what we will continue to do until we get our Omnicells. Yay! That is it for this blog. Elliot's gonna go back to sleep, and I'm gonna go to work. Thanks, everybody.